Hi there, it's Fred Sweet. Thanks for tuning in to Guitar Media and welcome to Guitar Media's Les Paul Classic Limited Edition video. We're here today to take a look at this 2022 Les Paul Classic Limited Edition in Chicago Blue. Okay, so what we got going on here is bridge volume, bridge tone, neck volume, and neck tone, just like a regular Les Paul. So, except for with the bridge volume, when you engage the push-pull pot, we get a coil tapping, which means this is now a single coil. With the bridge tone control, when you engage the push-pull pot, we get a true bypass, which means that even if these volume controls are on 0 and tone controls on 0, once you engage the true bypass, the sound just goes out as if everything was on 10. Now for the neck volume, when this push-pull is engaged, this is coil tapping. Once again, the neck pickup is now in single coil when this is engaged. Now, with the neck tone control, when this is engaged, this actually allows these two pickups to now become wired out of phase. And this is very handy, very, very handy. Where the coil tapping on a lot of guitars, I played a lot of guitars, and it doesn't really make a big difference in the sound. The phase switching, however, makes a huge difference in the sound. So what's going to happen immediately, you're going to notice if you're in the middle position where for this to work, both of these pickups have to be playing. And so what this does is actually drops the bass as these pickups are out of phase. And what you can do is you can sort of roll back the volume on the bridge, and that'll bring in a little bit more bass. Or you can roll back the volume on the neck, and that will actually bring in a little bit more of the mid-range bite of the bridge, whether just depending on whether it's in humbucker or single coil mode. So this gives us a total of 12 different sounds, and really if you consider the blending options, it's probably more like 100 sounds or an infinite amount of different sounds that you could get here, which is absolutely incredible. These guitars were also offered with the Burstbucker 61R and Burstbucker 61T open coil humbucker pickups. And really these pickups, they have a very bright type tone, and they're very hot. And one thing we've noticed with the open coil pickups is that not only do we get a little bit more bite noticeably, the microphonics are just not as bad. So if you're a high gain or heavy metal player, I definitely recommend going with the open coil humbuckers. Now they claim these are Alnico. They claim that you're supposed to be able to get vintage tones out of these pickups, and typically ceramic humbuckers are a little warmer, and these Alnico ones are a little brighter. Really, for me, I'm just, for me personally, my go-to guitar is going to be like a single coil design. I can just hear the notes, resonating. As I'm also a guitar player and a singer, I like the representation of the notes with single coils. However, if I do sit down, like if I'm going to sit down with a Les Paul or something that's got humbuckers, for me, the out of phase thing is a must have. And really, the reason why it's so important to me personally as a guitar player is that I noticed that so many humbucker guitars have tone controls that essentially eliminates the high frequencies, which I guess is great if you're having microphonic issues. You can sort of roll back some of the high frequencies and eliminate the squealing. But for me as a guitarist, I find myself in more situations actually needing to eliminate the bass frequencies rather than the high frequencies. And so I find myself leaving these tone controls all the way up pretty much all the time. And actually that's why the phase switcher comes in so much more handy for me personally, is because it allows me to eliminate the bass frequencies, and more so actually it's more so useful when I play on the neck and I'm a blues guy. So that really helps. It just helps clean it up here, and it's perfect. So for the overdrive recording, we plugged the guitar into the RT20 Boss rotary ensemble pedal. We come out of that into the silvertone. Let's see if I can get it in focus here. 1472, and we got the silvertone running on the variac back there. Let's see, somewhere back there. That's as far as I can zoom. And it's running at 110 volts. And then here's our, let's see, here's our microphone here, the Nady RSM4, and we're miking up the G12T75. Now we actually started with the E609 on the clean recording, then we jumped to the ribbon microphone for the JBL in the clean recording, and then jumped back to this. So quite a lot of jumping around. So it turns out the neck and the bridge pickup both read 7.7 K ohms on my multimeter, and I was very surprised. I thought that the pickups sounded much hotter than that, and seemed to be much higher output than the patent applied for and the patent sticker pickups that we have in other guitars that we've played that measure right about the same. And it could have something to do with the strengths of the magnets through the years. Maybe the magnet strength fades. It's really hard to say. I've taken notice to that. A lot of newer guitars just work better across the board. Although I believe I'll always find myself going back to the patent applied for pickups and the patent sticker pickups. Just lower output pickups. I just love the sound of lower output pickups. Let's see. Other than that, I'm going to be hard pressed to let go, to turn loose of this Gibson. It's just because I'm an originality freak, and most original Gibsons do not have the phase switching option. And so that's what's great about made in China guitars, or just lesser expensive guitars like the Ivy Les Paul, and I believe that guitar is made in Vietnam. Like, I wouldn't think twice about modifying it or getting the out of phase sound on that guitar. But this Gibson just came from the factory that way, and that's awesome. So the guitar chain for the clean sounds in this video recording, we plug the guitar into the M80, then we use the effects loop and come out of the effects loop into the arc compressor, and then we come back out into the effects loop here, and then we use a little bit of compression and reverb in post. And also a little bit of the spring reverb here on the M80 as well. Thanks for watching, and check our channel for our latest videos.